Nandopalanda Vibhudham Mahitham Uttena Thera Bhujagena Damapayanto Vidhupadesa Vidhina Jitavamunito Tam Tejasa Bhavatu Te Jaya Mangalani.
Good morning, everybody. Namaste and Tashidale. Very grateful that all of you could join us today, and I hope everyone is well. We understand Omicron is spreading and a couple of people whose health is not okay. Many prayers and wishes. And a warm welcome to the teachings on Chapter 1, Benefits of the Awakening Mind from the Bodhicharya Avtara with Venerable Geshe Dorji Damdulla. First question, am I audible? Just a few details before we begin. The teachings are scheduled for today and the next Saturday, which is the 29th of January, using the same link. We have 3 sessions on each day, the timings of which were shared earlier. Yeah, so we will have session 1 from 11 to 1, session 2 from 2 to 4, and session 3 from 4:30 to 5:30. We've tried to send the text for the teaching across to some of the WhatsApp groups, but we will also send it here on the chat. A kind request to download the text so it's easier for you. And in case any of you are not able to access the text, please send us an email either at earth.mumbai@gmail.com or pc@tibethouse.in. I will send the email addresses on the chat, so that way we will be able to email you the text at the earliest. The teachings are also being streamed on the Tibet House Facebook page as well as the YouTube channel. So in case any of you miss any sections, please feel free to access it there before we meet back next week. A kind request to all of you to keep your mics on mute during the session unless you have a question and you're requested to speak. And if it's possible, for a few moments, if you could all put your cameras on. You know, I know we're all tired of Zoom, but on our part, I promise not to judge, no matter how the background looks or how our faces and hair looks. Thank you. For most of us, neither the teacher nor the text needs any introduction, but there are a few people who are joining in for the first time. And for them, I would really like to share. The Bodhicharya Avtara, or what is English in the English translation is A Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life, is one of the most profound pieces of spiritual work, which really combines intention, wisdom, and daily practice, and has been guiding many, many exemplary practitioners on this path. And about the teacher, Venerable Geshe Dorji Damdul is the director of Tibet House, New Delhi. Geshe-la has an inspiring academic career, having formerly studied Buddhist logic, philosophy, and epistemology at the Institute of Dialectics. He's completed his Geshe-la Rampa degree from the Drepung Losling Monastic University and Tantric Studies from Gyudmed Tantric College. He was appointed translator for His Holiness in 2005, and since then has been engaged in translating key texts like the Mula Madhyamika Karika and the Wisdom chapter from the Bodhicharya Avtara. He has contributed to many publications and assisted with renowned books such as Emotional Awareness, Ethics for a New Millennium, and The Graded Path. He regularly presents papers and speaks at a range of national and international conferences on topics related to Buddhist psychology, logic, philosophy, and physics. His efforts are ceaseless, as most of us who have been his students know. What I do want to also share is Geshe-la has been our teacher for some years now, and to have a teacher who truly embodies what we are trying to learn is an incredibly precious gift. And I'm sure all of my classmates and students from NDC and NMC will agree that his capacity for kindness and generosity, which we see in his presence and teachings, is something that leaves a mark for lifetimes. Thank you very much for being with us, Geshe-la. We have a small offering for you and for the group which is here. Maya Iyer is a well-known name. She's sung in multiple movies. She's a composer, performing artist, and a singer, and is trained in traditional Carnatic classical. She'll offer us the Nhat Sutra rendition. Thank you. Maya, over to you.
Thank you so much, Nevi. I'm truly grateful to be able to have the opportunity and privilege to sing here today. Thank you so much for that. Without any further ado, I would like to present the Nhat Sutra. Aryavalokiteshvara bodhisattva gambhiraya prajna paramitayam charayam charamano vyavalokayati sma panchaskandhaः तांश्च स्वभावः शून्यान् पश्यति स्म इह शारिपुत्ररूपं शून्यता शून्यतैव रूपं रूपान्न पृथक् शून्यता शून्यताया पृथक् रूपम् यद्रूपं सा शून्यता या शून्यता तद्रूपम् एकमेव वेदना संज्ञा संस्कारा विज्ञानानि च शून्यता यं शारिपुत्र सर्वधर्माः शून्यता लक्षणा अनुत्पन्ना अनिरुद्धा अमला न विमला अनोना न परिपूर्णाः तस्मात् शारिपुत्र शून्यतायां न रूपं न वेदना न संज्ञा न संस्काराः न विज्ञानानि न चक्षुः श्रोत्रघ्राणजिह्वकायमानांसि न रूपशब्द गन्धारसस्पृष्टव्यधर्माः न चक्षुर्धातुर्यावन्न मनो धातुः न विद्या न विद्या न विद्याक्षयो न विद्याक्षयो यावन्न जरामरणम् न जरामरणाक्षयो न दुःखसमुदय निरोधमार्गा न ज्ञानं न प्राप्ति न प्राप्तिः तस्माच्चारिपुत्र अत्रातित्वाद बोधिसत्त्वस्य प्रज्ञापारमितामाश्रित्य विहरति चित्तावरणः चित्तावरणनास्तित्वादत्रस्तो विपर्यासातिक्रान्तो निष्ठनिर्वाण प्राप्तः गते गते पारगते पारसंगते बोधिस्वाहा गते गते पारगते पारसंगते बोधिस्वाहा गते गते पारगते पारसंगते बोधिस्वाहा गते गते पारगते पारसंगते बोधिस्वाहा
Thank you very much, Maya. Immensely grateful that you could join us and offer this. Geshe-la, over to you.
Okay. First of all, Tashi Dile, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, all of you. It is a great joy for me to be with all of you here. And thank you, Total Nivedita regime. It is such a great inspiration that I see that people are inspired because of you. And my very dear friend, Vivekji and Ananya, who are like the two pillars behind Total Niveditaji's incredible success of her disseminating compassion, love, and sensibility, common sense to all the people. Thank you so much, both of you. And likewise, Miss the Madhuri Menanji from Banyan, and Dr. Lakshmiji from Banyan. And so they've been like the angels of spreading compassion, spreading love, where the people are unheard of, the unsung heroes. They are really unsung heroes. I really appreciate their efforts and all the people who connected with the Banyan. And likewise, today, Mayaji, her chant of Heart Sutra, which in fact I was honored to listen to her, the Ye Dharma mantra in with this beautiful chant, I think about like 2 years ago. Dr. Niveditaji asked me if that is okay, and I was listening to it. I was just relishing, and I was just flowing my thoughts flowing in her. The recitation in chant is so beautifully done. Thank you so much. And today also, this Heart Sutra, Dr. Niveditaji asked if it is all right that the Mayaji will offer this Heart Sutra recitation to all the people here. I said that what a great, great, great blessing for all of us. And today, indeed, we were hearing this Heart Sutra in Sanskrit from the Mayaji. Thank you so much. And just believe it or not, this very sutra in the same language was recited by so many brilliant thinkers of the compassion philosophers, and simultaneously being incredibly great examples of compassion. For example, the text which Dr. Niveditaji picked up, A Guide to the Bodhisattva Way of Life, where she said that there's no need for the introduction of this text. Author of this text, the great Bodhisattva Shantideva, looking at his chapter 9, we see this very sophisticated philosophy. And the reading chapter 1 and chapter 8, you see that there's such a tender heart there, tender heart. And reading other chapters, we'll see that the nuances by which to tone down our agitation and to make our mind more so agile, more compassionate, more embracing towards others, towards your near and dear ones, towards your neutral beings, and towards even the enemies. So this is so beautiful text. And I oftentimes tell people that we don't need, say, once you have this book, this will be your lifelong guide in controlling and managing your emotions to make you a very happy person and to disseminate this happiness towards others, towards all others. Okay. So having said this, again, I really appreciate to give you a quick, idea of what Dr. Niveditaji is doing. And while most of you, the many who are Dr. Niveditaji students and the others who are from Tibet House, somehow connected with Tibet House and with me as well. And most of you know Dr. Niveditaji. So what she has been doing, I oftentimes tell her very honestly that what you've been doing is really the angel's work, angel of compassion, and spreading this message of compassion, spreading this message of the warm-heartedness towards others. And you are doing it on a very high level, and not just say the enforcing, the putting somebody into compulsion to do that, rather out of, say, the people who are attracted towards Dr. Niveditaji, they're just the right age, who are very mature in their thinking, and who have their own, in their own rights, in their own capacity, can influence other people. So what she's doing is just amazing. So with this mind, is all amazing. Why amazing? Look at this topic today is about the benefit of generating compassion, benefit of generating bodhicitta, this most beautiful mind of bodhicitta. And of course, we're going to discuss this in great length in 2 days, today and the next Saturday. And seeing that Dr. Niveditaji has a tremendous capacity to attract people of that age, very matured, and who can influence others, I was dreaming, I am still dreaming, and for sure I will dream many more times that her program be spread to many other places. And with this mind, so wherever I get the opportunity, I make it a point to connect Dr. Niveditaji and her program with the various institutions. And then yes, we will succeed. Sometimes it may be a little draggery, it doesn't matter. The point is that only if the goodness retreats, or the angels retreat, evils win. So therefore we should never give up. We should never let the evils win by the good people retreating. So we should never retreat. Each one of us, in your own capacity, the first thing that I'd like to share with you is never ever retreat yourself from all the good works at any degree that you're doing. Never retreat from yourself from these, and that the evil will not get a chance. This is so important. Okay, with this mind, as Maya already recited the Heart Sutra, we will together collectively recite this mantra, Heart Sutra mantra. Do you have it? Heart Sutra mantra. If you have it, we can have a screen sharing. If not, then we'll recite it together. And many of you know how know this mantra, so we'll recite this together. And yeah, meanwhile, the meaning is very simple. The meaning is very simple. It's not about any religiosity. It's only about I will transform myself. I will transform myself from, say, from the unhappiness to the state of happiness. I'll transform myself from the state of ignorance to the state of wisdom. And I'll transform myself from a very timid person to a very influential, positively influential person, to influence, spread this wave of compassion, wave of happiness for others. So this is a message. And that happens not overnight. It happens through steps. So gade, para, samgade, bodhi. So 5 steps are taught. And if you are interested to learn more of what these 5 are, and the significance, so forth, these we can, for sure, there are many of the teachings available in Tibet House recordings. You can easily get if you make the request to the office. Okay, so we'll all say this together and imagine the whole world is joining us. The whole world is joining us in this recitation. So that the world finds a more beautiful place, harmonious place, where all these conflicts, unnecessary conflicts, on the international level, they all subside. On the national level, all these unnecessary conflicts between and among the tribes, among the various denominations, they all subside. And praying that all these conflicts in the family, the domestic violence, all this subside, and all the conflicts happening within the individual, going to depression, stress, burnout, all this subside. Let's pray for that. Deyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhisvahatyatha 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 Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhisvaha. Okay, Shantideva. Today, a very sad news that I heard today is the loss of a great teacher, Venerable Thich Nhat Hanh, a Vietnamese, a great teacher. Let us pray. One, let us pray that from the point of view of the Buddhist tradition, and also from the tradition of all the various Hindu traditions and Buddhist tradition, Jainism, Sikhism, so where there's a concept of rebirth. Let us pray that this great teacher comes back to disseminate, to continue to inspire as many beings towards peace, compassion, and the understanding of interdependency. Let us pray for that. And from the very secular point of view, let us pray that his legacy of compassion, his legacy of the wisdom be continued by each one of us here, by all his students, each and every student of the most venerable Thich Nhat Hanh. That let us pray that each one of us be able to carry the torch of his legacy of compassion, loving kindness, and the resolving the conflicts of war, and the end by sharing the light of the understanding of interdependency. So let's pray for that. And let us keep in mind that each one of us, we have the responsibility. One, to make yourself happy. The first and foremost responsibility that each one of us has is to keep yourself happy. This is so important. Keep yourself happy. Only when you are happy, you can export your happiness. Only when you're happy, you can export the happiness. Whereas if you are not happy, how can you possibly export happiness? If you don't have gold, how can you export gold? So let's make it a point that first you are happy. And meanwhile, let's not forget that be kind to yourself. Number one, make yourself happy. Number two, be wisely kind to yourself. That is, while you make yourself happy, while trying to make yourself happy, don't drag yourself into miseries. This is the meaning of being unwisely trying to be kind to yourself, dragging yourself into miseries. So be kind to yourself and be wisely kind to yourself. Wisely kind to yourself means do those things which will actually make you happy. So making happy, the secret of happiness lies in expanding the circle of love and affection towards others. This is the secret of happiness. Okay, and of course, the great author, the Bodhisattva Shantideva, who's the first chapter we're going to read. And meanwhile, what is important is that there's going to be like, say, the way later on, the moment you see this book, this should remind you of the secret of happiness. Okay. I have these slideshows as my PowerPoint presentation. And just to tell you, why do we need to study this book? Why? Tell you that. Okay, oftentimes what happens is that we see the discrepancy between two things. One, the intellectual rigor that we engage in. Intellectual rigor, the whole nation is focused on, spending so much of money on the international rigor of the nation, trying to groom the brilliant brains, young brains of the nation. Then on the other hand, the nation is going through so much of crisis, fights, conflicts, all nations, not only one nation, all nations, all the countries, this is what is happening. So we see that this is we see these two things as two contradictory things. One is building up the power of the rigor of the intellectual skills. And on the other hand, ending up into conflicts within and without. Now, we need to say, let's try to look at things from very broad perspective or from the outer space on this planet Earth. So what are we seeking? Why the nation builders, initial nation builders, all the countries? So what was the original thought? And on the international level, USA, the UNO, what are they trying to do? What for? Let's not forget this. From there, we see that somehow these two are connected. Say, one is the welfare of the world, welfare of the nation, the community, the family, and the individual welfare. And for the sake of this welfare, we are encouraging this education. So the education should not be seen as an end. It should be seen as a means for the end. What is that end? The welfare of the world, of yourself, of the individual. Let's not forget it. This discrepancy, failing to see the link, failing to see the whole purpose of why the education is so much encouraged, and that the trend is built that the family is very unsuccessful if they fail to send their children to education in the education institutions. So this is a trend that has come about. In a way, this is a great thing. It's a great habit built in humanity. So meanwhile, let us not forget the purpose of this. Okay, to know how these two are connected, let us start from scratch, clean slate. where, okay, so yes, that's very true. I have my own problem, stress, depression, anxiety, and so forth, family conflicts. And then they look at the nation, there's so much of internal conflicts happening. And then look at the world, the fights happening on the borders, everywhere, conflicts, everywhere. Unnecessarily, billions and trillions of dollars are wasted to defend each other, which can easily, where the harmony is there, these amount of money can easily be invested for education, for health. How many people are dying because of lack of the facilities? So we can provide facilities to these people. How many poor people are dying there? We can provide skills to the people. So these cannot be done because so much of the wealth of the nation, of the world, is being used to defend the borders. This is a problem. Okay, let's turn to the first screen. Sorry, our program coordinator here at Tibet House, he's trying his best. He's better than me. Yeah, I can't manage. Okay, let's go next slide. Okay, let us try to look at things from a scratch, as though like you are just new to this world. And what's happening in this world? Look at UNO, let's say. What is known as the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, also known as the Global Goals, were adopted by all United Nations member states in 2015 as a universal call to acting to end poverty. So there's, okay, so you are new to this, on this earth, and then you see that they're talking about poverty, protect the planet, and ensure that all the people enjoy peace and prosperity. What, they don't have peace and prosperity? This is a question. So look at this, we see that the world is going through a crisis. So this is the picture that we get from the UNO. Okay, next slide. Okay, so if you look at the first one, no poverty. Number 2, zero hunger. Number 3, good health and well-being. So what I'm saying here is that these are the very prominent problems that the world that faces and is working towards that. The UNO, it doesn't mean that, oh, UNO to resolve border issues. No, we see that these are the imminent problems the world is facing, the crisis the world is facing. Next slide. Okay, what is a well-being? A state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. Meaning that this is where we see that, okay, the something with what we call as the modern education and the material wealth. These two are seen to be very closely connected, and other things like mental, this are all personal. So this is not the case. And even the so where there's a better education, the wealth is more. That's for sure, because they know how to create wealth. And more the wealth, and ideally speaking, what are these wealth for? What are these wealth for? This question. So oftentimes people, they don't see the correlation between the wealth and what for the wealth is. They don't see the correlation because of this. People die for the wealth, and then the wealth is left and you are left. You are no more there. This is what happens. So this is the greatest irony. So wealth should not be seen as the end. It should be seen as a means. Let's not forget that. As long as the end, there's hope for the end, even there's wealth, no wealth, this should not really bother you as much. So the well-being and the state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being. So there should be the mental well-being there and the social well-being there as well. This is so important. Let us look at the world from these. Next slide. So it says that, again, this is the key facts produced by World Health Organization. There are many different mental disorders with different presentations. They are generally characterized by a combination of abnormal thoughts, perceptions, emotions, behavior, and relationships with others. Mental disorders include depression, bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, and other psychosis, dementia, and developmental disorders, including autism. There are effective strategies for preventing mental disorders such as depression. There are effective treatments for mental disorders and ways to elevate the suffering caused by them. Access to health care and social services capable of providing treatment and social support is key. Okay, so from this, what we learn is that these are the issues. These are the issues. The individuals on the facade, we talk about the wealth, we talk about the education, and so forth. But deep inside all this wealth, these are somehow connected with the being, say your well-being, which is mental, and it can manifest where the well-being is missing. It can manifest in these different forms, like the stress, depression, and so forth. And for sure, some of them are related to the genetics, and some of them are related to the environment. When you are in a very poisonous environment, your mind can be badly affected and you can go to depression, stress, and so forth. And sometimes it can be genetic. So we need to see what are the factors. Next slide, please. Okay, and so before I actually begin with my talk, what I'd like to share with you is that this is by Albert Einstein. This is so important. In fact, the Albert Einstein, while we see him as the hardcore physicist, world genius physicist, who came up with the concept of the relativity theorem, special theory of relativity, and the general theory of relativity, also that he contributed a lot to the quantum mechanics. So what did he say? So if we bring him, then we can connect it to that the brain development and the need of the heart development, these two to be together. A human being is a part of the whole called by us universe, a part limited in time and space. So just think of yourself. You have a small house, you have, say, your small circle of family, and then you have some concerns, and some people, they can expand. They think of their neighbors, they think of the community, and they think of the country, and so forth. And then now with COVID, we think about the world. He or she experiences happiness, himself or herself, their thoughts and feelings as something separated from the rest of from the rest. This is what happens to almost all of us, that my family and the rest is different. I should take care of me and my family. Okay, this is just see how much of what Albert Einstein said reflects your thinking. And then we'll correlate this with the Bodhisattva Shantideva's book. Okay, something separated from the rest, a kind of optical delusion of his or her consciousness. This is a delusion. Me and mine, and you and yours. This separation is an optical delusion, restricting us to our personal desires and affection for a few persons nearest to us. And some people, they're very affectionate, loving, even within the family, taking care of your parents, taking care of your own children, your brothers, sisters, or and some are very selfish, very selfish. It depends on degrees. Some they love their parents and their siblings, they just discard. And some of the two parents, you love the mom and kick out the dad and all the siblings. And some they embrace the dad and leave the mom and the siblings. And some they leave everything, dad, mom, siblings, everything. And then you and your child. And then some, they even kick out the child. That is very rare. That is very rare. Biologically speaking, this is very rare. And these people really deserve help and compassion because they're going through extreme traumatic experiences themselves. So they need help. So what is said here is that this delusion is a kind of prison for us, restricting us to our personal desires and affection for a few persons nearest to us. How true it is. Just see, it's so true. What does it mean by prison? Say if somebody puts you in a prison, say a small this cell or a small cage, and you are locked up, you will say that, oh, there's no human rights, you will find. And actually you are creating your own prison. How? You're putting yourself in a small, say, the area. You cannot talk to your neighbors. You cannot talk to your colleagues at the workplace. Why? Because you said that, how dare you? And others will say, how dare you? And there's a wall created between two of you. And you come home, then you express your anger. You try to vent your anger, which actually originated in your workplace, and you vent your anger to your family members. And family members, they become very cautious of you. They stay away. Again, the barrier is created. So you now, so you look at the person, somebody to the east, you don't feel like. West, south, everywhere. You cannot talk. You cannot share. So you are encased in a very small area. You are being blocked by from all sides. You are in prison. So this is what Albert Einstein said, as this delusion is a kind of prison for us, restricting us to our personal desires and affection for few persons nearest to us. Our task must be, what should we do now? If you don't want to be in this prison, yes, of course, it's very suffocating, very suffocating. In a family, say you wake up and you even, don't feel like talking to your dad, to your mom, to your brother, to your sister, to your husband, to your wife. It's so suffocating. It's so suffocating. At the worst, you go out and you see that I can't really talk to my boss, to my colleagues. It's so suffocating. And it doesn't mean that it's all your mistake. This is not the connotation. We should be very realistic. At times, it can be the mistake of somebody else. At times, it can be your mistake. At times, it can be both. At times, it can be like a synergy of the two. Synergy. So the point is that there's no excuse. Finally, you should be a happy person. That should be the goal. You should be a happy person. So how to make it happen? That is so important. So it says that our task must be to free ourselves from this prison. How to do that? By widening our circle of compassion to embrace all living creatures and the whole of nature in its beauty. Who said it? Not His Holiness the Dalai Lama, not Jesus Christ, not the Lord Krishna, not Lord Mahavir, not Prophet Muhammad, not Guru Nanak Ji, not Baha'u'llah, not Zoroaster. It was said by Albert Einstein, a hardcore physicist, a Nobel laureate in physics. Okay, so with this in mind, let's get the message from this is, okay, so we see that there's a tremendous brain development to emphasize. Meanwhile, it should be seen as a means to expand our heart, that you become a happier person, that you should get out of this prison, the prison of selfishness. Okay, so with this in mind, so with this in mind, So next is how to break this prison, and how to make myself a happier person. And the Buddha Shakyamuni, he taught that you are the master of yourself. You are the master of yourself. Who else is there as your master? The one who conquers one's mind is the wise one and will be liberated. What Einstein said is, you will be free from the prison. And the Buddha said, you will be liberated. I want a biscuit. You will be liberated. So when you say liberated means you'll be liberated from the prison of your mental agony, the mental pain. Okay, now how to do that? This question. So for that matter, what I would say is that how finally it is our mind. It is a mind, whether you feel happy, not happy, and whether you feel a sense of elation, sense of fulfillment, or sense of gloominess, is all about your mind. How many agree with me? Raise hands. Okay, very good. It's all about our mind. And one time, a friend of mine sent me a message saying that, Geshe-la, the whole world is gloomy. There's no hope in the world. It's so gloomy. And then somehow I got a sense. And she said that I have the backache. It was COVID, the COVID time. And I'm hearing this news. Look at this world, it's fighting, everything's so gloomy. So what happens is, look, this is how our body and our mind, these are very closely connected. Very closely connected. And from all what the message that she sent me, from there I could sense that her mind is going through a very low phase. And the trigger point is not that the world is gloomy. The trigger point is that she has the backache. And I said, okay, do some exercise. And then the world will become like beautiful again. Do some exercise. And then I taught her how to do some exercise. I sent some video recordings of the exercise to remove the backache. And then after 2 days, I received a message saying that, oh, now I feel so light. It's fine. The world is very different. Okay, so the point is, finally, it is your mind. And this mind, our mind, what we call as mind, when I say mind, don't take it as, something esoteric, something which we cannot see. It's very simple. This mind is, in other words, you are you. With respect to you, you are the most important person in this world, right? Don't underestimate yourself. For you, with respect to you, you are the most important person in this world. Why I'm saying this? You may say that, no, I don't agree with you. Okay, how many of you? Let's say from your income, if you are a small child, from your pocket money, if you're elders, you say some income or whatever, from what you're getting per year, from there, how many of you say, like, how many of you, major part of this, let's say the income or the money or whatever, major part of this is sent on yourself, you and your family, not to the outside world? Raise hands. Yes. So deep inside us, we have a feeling that I'm the most important person in this world. And I'm doing my family. Why this family? Why not other families? Because it's my family. So the center of the whole world is you. And yet, don't think that this is wrong. Don't think that this is wrong. To feel that you are the center of the universe. There's nothing wrong in it. When does it go wrong? When your sanity disappears. You have this feeling that I'm the most important person in this world with respect to me. And yet the sanity to serve this person, their sanity disappears. You become totally insane, totally unrealistic. Then the problems start. In other words, you try to make this person happy at the cost of somebody else. Then the problems start. So you can make yourself the happiest, and trying to make yourself happy at the cost of somebody else, that is in fact very unwise. Why unwise? Instead of creating happiness to you, it brings unhappiness to you. So whereas if you can look for ways and means whereby you can make you can create happiness in you, okay, don't harm others. Don't even befriend others. Just try to be by yourself and see how you make yourself happy. And you say, it's very so limited, so limited. And when you make your families happy, right? Families will make you happy. That's much better. And if you make your neighbors happy, neighbors will come for your birthday. It's so beautiful. So where your compassion increases, your happiness increases. This is the reality. Okay, so what we're going to do is that, say today is going to be more like the theoretical explanation, and then the next Saturday we're going to look for some takeaways. Say how to make yourself a happier person, and how to spread this message of happiness towards others. So some takeaways in the next class, the next Saturday. So we see that finally it's your mind, and I'm sure you have your own experiences. Sometimes, say early morning, you get up for no reason, you feel so low, and everything is so gloomy, so hopeless, heavy. Just morning wake up, no reason. Why I'm feeling so heavy today? No reason. Okay, how many of that experience? Raise hands. Okay, good. And then you look at to the right side, everything's so gloomy. Delhi today, look at the weather, right? It's so foggy, dark. And on top of the Tibet house, in the windows, we put what is this? The screen, what do you call it? The lamination to protect from the sun. Now winter, there's no sun, number one. Number two, even the little sun comes, even this protection, it stops the sun. It's so gloomy now. Okay. Whereas, and then you look at it was facing you, again, so gloomy. It was your back, gloomy, up, gloomy, down, gloomy. It was your friend, gloomy. Everything's so gloomy. Sometimes when you feel that, where's the hope? Where's the hope? Then suddenly somebody comes who is a very positive person comes. Very positive person comes. Then how the person talks is so positive, it's so nice. Everything becomes very beautiful. How come that he is able to create such an environment of beauty and everything positive? Whereas for me, everything's so gloomy. Even this mobile, let's say, this is not a sophisticated mobile. Let's say the iPhone 13, even iPhone 13 is very complicated. It's very gloomy, right? What I want it to, again, the battery died, right? Yes, battery will die. Even if it is the iPhone, the most sophisticated iPhone, it cannot last for lifelong. There is no the battery to sustain you without charging for life. Not possible. It will die one day. Oh, it dies. How come that iPhone? I paid so much. It's still the battery dies. Everything seems so dull. Whereas you look at somebody else, wow. How many have noticed that? You see somebody else, and the person around that, there's so much of positivity there. Everything is nice. How many notice that? Raise hands. Very good. Okay, now, when you see this difference, it is high time for us to compare why the positivity is around that person. Why? For me, the whole world is dark and gloomy. Why? This is what we have to think. And on that basis, we have to deduce the fact that it's not outside, it is your mind inside. It's your mind inside. Something is wrong with your mind, right? Don't blame yourself. Don't blame yourself. Just discover this fact. Only when you discover the illness, you can fix it. When you don't discover the illness, you will continue to suffer. Okay, for example, let's say a Mount Kailash. How many you know what Mount Kailash is? Raise hands. Okay, very good. Okay, let's say that the Dr. Nivedanaji and Vivekji says that, hey, Nivi, right? Hey, Nivi, we will take all these your students to the Mount Kailash for for pilgrimage. Yes. So I cannot manage all. So all the boys you have to manage, all the girls I have to manage. And meanwhile, the Ananya will be the coordinator. Okay, well, so let's say that the Dr. Nivedanaji took all the girls to, because the Mount Kailash, there's enormous snow there. The glare from the snow can be very harmful to your eyes. So they decided to buy goggles for all of us. Then Dr. Nivedanaji took all the girls to a goggle shop. The goggles made in Japan, right? Made in Japan. And the goggles are so meticulously clean. And all the goggles finished. And then the Vivekji came for the boys. No goggles left. Okay, now they have to go to a local shop. It doesn't mean this country, that country. This is not what I mean. A local shop. Because within the same country, they are high class. Look, even the factories, some are very high level, some are very low quality, and low quality ones left there. All the boys, they got the low quality goggles. So then the Ananya, the daughter, said that, okay, the coordinator said, when you there's a glare there, you must not miss to put on the goggles. Then everybody said yes. And keep in mind that this is an amazingly beautiful mountain. Amazing, beautiful, and it's so holy mountain. And whether you believe it holy or not, it doesn't matter. But for sure, it's very beautiful mountain. And all of us, we go there. And all the girls, they're so fascinated. Wow, spick and span, clean, snow, so beautiful. And all the boys saying, what is this? It's so dirty. They are saying it's very clean. And Ananya said that this is a very beautiful mountain, but it is so dirty. We have to start the Mount Kailash Clean Project. Clean Mount Kailash Project. We have to start a project, right? And the girls said, what do you say? You're crazy. It's so beautiful. It does not require any project to clean this up, right? Okay, now my question to you. What the girls are seeing, the Mount Kailash, and the Mount Kailash, the boys are seeing, is it the same Mount Kailash or different Mount Kailash? It's the same Mount Kailash. But why one is enjoying and one is not enjoying? Why? It's not the Mount Kailash. It's the lens, it's the glasses through which you are looking at it. So when your glasses are impure, invariably you're going to see the object is impure. When the glasses are pure, invariably you see the object is clean. So the point is that we, including myself, at times when I was particularly when I was in school days, particularly school days, I used to feel very low sometimes. And then some of my classmates, they're very positive. I was just wondering how come that they're able to maintain this positivity. Everything looks so nice for them. So the point is, it's high time for us to see that the problem is not with the Mount Kailash. The problem is with my goggles. Believe it or not, we are interacting with this world and this universe, the world, your family, and all these, we are interacting with them through the goggles of your own mind, through the lens of your own mind. And if your mind is they said not clean, you are bound to see the objects as impure. When the mind is clean, you are bound to see the objects clean. Okay. Whether you fully agree or not, this is a different story. Does it make some sense? Yes, if it does make some sense, raise your hands. Okay, good. Good, thank you. Now with this, I have to say, always for all these teachings, we must make it a point that the same exceptions are there. Exceptions are there. What is that exception? Exception doesn't mean that this does not follow in some cases. This is not the case. The point is that if, hypothetically, if our mind is 100% pure, no external factor can affect you. That is guaranteed. No external factor can affect you. Whereas we can't expect, if your mind is 100% pure, 100% pure, which means that we are very highly advanced in our spiritual practice, where nothing can affect you. And we are the fact that we have some degree of the stains on our mind. We all have. And I would say, generally speaking, it is like same, and some less, some more. Overall, it's like same. Now, once the stain is there within the mind, then the external factors can haunt you. External factors can affect you. For some people, external factors are less harmful. For some people, external factors are more harmful. Okay, where the external factors are more harmful, we already have this little bit of stain, like the two hands. If both the hands are very active, one is the internal factor so active, and the other external factor so active, the sound is explosive. Whereas if the internal factor is not so active, but if you provide the internal factor, one hand, and the external factor is very corrosive, still the sound can be very explosive. And whereas most of us, generally speaking, we see that we provide our internal factor, and the external factor is always there. Sometimes we shall less aggressive, sometimes more aggressive. And some people, unfortunately, they meet with a very aggressive external factors. So under such situation, the person can go into depression, person can go into really deep mental problems. And under such situation, it doesn't mean, by no means I'm saying that those people who go into depression, they're more, selfish, they have more mental stain. This is not a connotation. The connotation is that the moment you create the internal factors, then the external factors are bound to affect you. And the external factors, they vary in degrees. Some people, they have, even said for the girls, let's say the husbands, some are nice, some are not so nice, some are really, I don't know, so how they, but first of all, they come together, is very destructive. And some, they're very supportive, and the children suffer greatly when they are not supportive. It's not only the husband, even the wife. Some can be very complicated, and some can be extremely sensible, nice. Okay, so what I'm saying is that external factors, we never know what that's going to be like. And the whole point is how the two things. One, the immediate measures and the long-term measure. Immediate measure meaning how to mitigate the power, how to mitigate the intensity of your pains, to make yourself a happier person, how to mitigate the intensity of the pains, number one. And the long-term plan is how to get rid of the one hand altogether, internal factor, how to get rid of this completely so that no effect, however aggressive, however strong the external force is, there's no effect. These are, we should keep in mind that our life, the purpose, if somebody were to ask you what is the purpose of life, you have to say, just see if it makes sense to you that the purpose of life is for me to try to mitigate the power of the hand. External hand, we are not too sure, right? It's not in your hand, but the internal hand, it can be very aggressive, So how to make it less aggressive so that the sound is less? How aggressive if the hand, external hand is like 80% forceful, your hand is 80%, 160% will come out as an explosion of miseries. External factor is 80, then you mitigate the intensity of your hand from 80 to 60. It's going to be like 140. So which is going to be much less. So, and then eventually there is a short term to mitigate the intensity of your pains, of your mental problems. And as your mental problems are, say, mitigated, your happiness soars, your happiness increases. Okay. And the long term is how to remove your hand completely, your contribution to the hand completely, no matter, say, how aggressive the external hand is, external factors are, you will not be affected. When you are not affected, you are fearless. When you become fearless, you can go out to help the people. Particularly, I would say that those people who are actually confronted by such issues, such problems in the domestic violence and so forth, say, let us be more sensible. And let us be more sensible where how to deal with these problems. You learn these things, apply these to your life, and see that the effect is being felt. On that basis, take the lead to help many others. So because of your experience, you are in a position to actually go out, to actually inspire others. Say the children who suffer in the hands of the parents who are the drunk, who are fighting amongst themselves and who are bullying each other. So you should be the one to actually learn how to quell these problems and then inspire many others how to tackle these situations. Okay, this is one thing. So from this, what we are saying is that finally it is your mind. Now going to the theory part. Meanwhile, these exceptions I already shared with you. When you say that the mind, if your mind is impure, then no hope. This is not a point. Somehow we all have, until you are a Buddha, you're already fully awakened. If you're fully awakened, for sure you will not come to attend this class. If you're fully awakened, if you do come to attend the class, you came here to check on me. Okay, how is he doing? Yeah. Okay. So otherwise, if you come for this class without any ulterior intention to check on me, or then the point is that we have some degrees of mental problems, and you discovering these mental problems within you, giving your hand, convey your hand, and the external factors come, then the sound of miseries erupt. So once you come to know that, yes, I also contribute to this, my hand is always being there, then don't feel bad that I'm such a hopeless person. Look, I am responsible. I'm as long as this glass is so pure, the goggles are so pure, so clean, I will continue to see the Mount Kara is so clean, but why I'm not seeing this is because of my goggle. I'm the one to be blamed. No, don't blame yourself. Just identifying that the lens of my mind, this is not clean. This identification, this discovery itself is the first point of healing. It's the first point of healing yourself. It's so precious. And then apply the remedies as we're going to discuss. Okay, so from this, what we learn is that finally, somehow it is to do with the mind. The next. Okay, with this mind is wrong? This mind is wrong? No, this mind is not wrong. And say the gold, the purpose of the gold is to glow. The purpose of gold is to glow. But when the gold is mixed with mud, gold doesn't glow. It is not the mistake of the gold. It's a mistake of the mud. Remove the mud. The gold will manifest its true nature of the glow. You have the goal inside, each one of you. It doesn't matter whether you're Buddhist, non-Buddhist, it doesn't matter. Whether you're boy, girl, it doesn't matter. Whether the status, it doesn't matter. Everyone has this gold, the gold of purity. Everyone has this gold of the purity inside, the gold. But it's not visible. I'm not happy. So you said that the purpose is to be happy, and you have the gold here. Gold means that I should be happy. I don't feel happiness. I'm not happy. Okay. It's not because that the happiness, the seed of happiness is not there. It is there. It is like gold mixed with the mud. You have to remove the mud. Okay. I say, having said this, what question would you ask me? I said that you have the seed of perfection. You have the seed of compassion. It doesn't matter what religious background you are following. Or you are not Buddhist, or you don't have it. Only the chosen one. Buddhists are the chosen one. This is such a disastrous statement. Everybody is the chosen one. Everybody has the seed of perfection. Everybody has, whether you're a girl or boy, there's no difference. It's not that the boys are, the better. This is any system which believes that the boys are better, or this group is better. This is all outdated. It's all outdated thinking. So we're all equal. Why we're all equal? This is what the Buddha said. We're all equal. Boys, girls, there's no difference. We're all equal. Because what made him so courageous to say this? Gender equality. No gender discrimination. Why? Because he's so confident, because he understood this concept of the seed of perfection, which exists among all the beings, boys, girls, no difference. So this seed of perfection is within us. And we're not happy because that is being obscured. That is being covered by the mental mud. We call it mental defilements. What would be the next question? Okay, we don't have much, much more sessions. So question should be very direct. What would be your question? Anybody, raise hands, very quick. I said that the seed of happiness, ultimate happiness is within each one of us. And why it is not visible? Because that is obscured by the mental defilements. What is your next question? Anybody, raise hands, very quick. Anyone? Any student of Dr. Niveditaji? Raise hands. What would be the next question? It's very simple. It does not require any philosophy, nothing. It's very simple. So what would be your next question? Okay, Sanjayji?
What are mental defilements?
Very good. How many agree with Sanjayji? Oh, this is exactly my question. Raise hands. Very good. What are these mental defilements which stop me from experiencing this true seed of perfection within me, which stop me from experiencing the fearlessness and the infinite happiness? What are these defilements? Number one, question number one. Question number two, how to remove them? Once you know that you have this, let's say the tumor, okay, I have a problem there. I always have the fever, the headache, and tiredness, and this. What's the problem? You go to the doctor, and the doctor says there's a tumor there, right? And particularly the radiologist, they'll say, oh, you have a tumor there. But once the doctor diagnosed that you have a tumor, doesn't mean that your problem is over, right? That's the beginning of healing. There's a tumor there. So which means, what are the mental defilements? This is identifying that you have a tumor. You've identified the tumor. What's the next? Next is either go for surgery, go for chemo, or go for radiation, or go for some medication, antibiotics. You have to go for this. You have to go for the remedies. That is number two. In other words, what are the mental defilements which obstruct you from experiencing the fearlessness and the infinite happiness? And how to get rid of these mental defilements? These are two questions. Okay. So with this, in this class, I'd like to ask a question. Okay, by the way, there are two things that we are seeking. All of us, we are seeking. Okay, my question to you is that how many of you are scared of COVID-19? Raise hands. Okay, how many of you are not scared of COVID-19? Ignorance is bliss. right? COVID-19, oh, I had COVID-19. It was just a mild attack. I just a fever for one day and finish. You are lucky, right? If you're not scared of COVID-19, ask those people who were in the ICU for 14 days, 20 days. Ask these people. And it was not that you have a special gene that you don't have to go to ICU. You're getting it? You don't have a special gene. Anybody can be affected with the COVID-19 where you'll be in the ICU form. If you're lucky, if you have money, if you have supporters, you'll be in ICU for like 20, 30 days on end. And many people die in the ICU, not because of COVID, because of the fear. If you're not really afraid of the COVID-19, which means that this is not because of your strength, it's because of the ignorance is bliss. Okay, so where you are aware of any possibility that COVID-19, there are various stages, how infectious it has been with respect to you. If it is so infectious, it can just kill you in a few days. Okay, so there's a fear there. Nobody wants fear, number one. And then how many of you really crave, let's say, to be with the genuine friends. Genuine, this is my word, genuine friends. Not the friend of money, not the friend of power, not the friend of anything. Genuine friends. Raise your hands. Genuine friends and genuine family members. Raise your hands. Even the family members, they are not guaranteed. Even the family members can be very complicated. Okay, very genuine family members, very loving, affectionate family members and friends. Raise your hands. Okay, what is that? You are craving for happiness. You are craving for the fulfillment. You are craving for the ease. My question to you, who is that person who craves not to have the fear, who craves to have the maximum happiness? The boys or the girls? All. The Buddhists or non-Buddhists? All. The privileged people or the less privileged people? All. These are the universal facts. And say you are the most privileged person. Or let's say you are the most privileged person, but you are not having these two. And there's a very, very underprivileged person. And this person is so happy, no home, nothing, but so happy, no COVID. And the food somehow, whatever food that he get, he's so happy, and there's a glow there, no tension, nothing. Most likely, and then you have so much of family conflicts there, for fighting over the billions of dollars, right? The fighting over this property in Florida, this property in the what is that? The CP in Delhi, this property in Japan, fighting over these, and the person has no idea about the property in Japan, no idea of the property in the first place. So happy, most likely you will feel envious of this person. So with this, what I'm saying is that we all crave for this, the fearlessness and the happiness. And this is something true across the board of humanity, across the gender, across the social status. How many agree with me, sense? Yes. If there's a pill which can give you these two things, everybody will buy this. And if there is a system, not a difficult teaching, easy teaching, difficult teaching, people will not be happy. No, easy teaching, right? Easy, you sit down for 2 minutes, then you will have this. Everybody will do it. I guarantee this. Okay. Then people will say, and then if this 2-minute meditation, and then you have this total fearlessness, infinite happiness coming to you, that person will become the most popular guru in the world. More popular than Buddha, more popular than Krishna, Jesus Christ, Prophet Muhammad, Guru Nanak, Bahula, Zoroaster, and the Lord Mahavir. You will become even more popular than that, because everybody is seeking that. And all these great teachers, they came on this earth meant to give rise to this, and they did not succeed, to be very honest. Still we are suffering. But where somebody can do that, that person will become the most famous guru, the most famous prophet. Okay, so what I'm saying is that this is a fact. So so first we have to identify what these mental defilements are, then how to get rid of this. So for this, we have two aspirations, the fearlessness and the infinite happiness. This is what we're seeking. And today, precisely, I say this book, and in chapter 8, chapter 8 is a chapter on meditation. Chapter 8, it has two parts, the first half and the second half. The first half talks about how to create a conducive factors for meditation. And the second half talks about what should you be meditating on. After creating a conducive environment, what should you be meditating on? This is what is discussed in the second half of the chapter 8. So what is said is that we practice the awakening mind, the mind to awaken from the sleep of ignorance, the mind which frees oneself from the prison of this unhappiness. In other words, the mind to give you the infinite happiness. What is that mind? This is known as the universal love, universal compassion, universal altruism. This is what it is. Okay. So I suddenly jump to this, that we are seeking infinite happiness. And this will come through the universal love as taught by Bodhisattva Shantideva. And chapter 1, it talks about the benefit of this mind. How, if you cultivate this, if you succeed in cultivating this, then you have a tremendous benefit. This is what he's going to discuss. So before we read those, we need to get a background information. And on that basis, when you read that, it should make total sense to us. Okay, my question to you. Some of you raise your hands, volunteer. My question is, just the way the manner I would told you, say how many you crave to be with very genuinely loving the family members and genuinely loving friends. Many of you raise hands, right? My next question to you is, in your life, did it ever happen to you, at least one moment in your life, say if you're 30, the last 30 years, did you have one moment in your mind which is most memorable? The moment of acute joy, a real peace in your mind, the beauty of your mind, real happiness in your mind, something which is the most memorable in your life. How many had such a moment? Raise hands. At least one moment in your lifetime. Raise hands. Okay, good. Most of you have. Okay. Is there anybody who likes to share that moment with us? Anybody? Very quick. I like 2 or 3 volunteers. Very quick. Pranali. Let's listen.
Thank you so much. I have 2 moments to share. Yeah, am I audible? I have 2
Yes.
moments to share. One was in the last April when I successfully completed my Vipassana course. And second, with the very intense practice, I lost my weight from 65 to 52. So these are most memorable moments, from the last year. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, Janavi.
The joy of seeing my mother after coming back from school and sleeping on her lap.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, seeing the mother coming from the school and sitting on the lap. How old were you then? 20 years?
No, I lost my mother at the age of 13. So this would have been around 7 years, 8 years.
When you were 7 years old?
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful moment. Amazing. Okay, Surya, Mingla. Rupaji?
Yeah, I think I feel myself blessed because I have lot many happy moments, especially when I'm meditating. I get the visions of gods from various other, like all sorts of gods. So from Master Merlin, because I never knew who Master Merlin was actually before I got the vision, and then to Jesus Christ, to Ganpati ji, to Shiv ji. I have seen everybody in my meditation. So I feel myself blessed, and I feel I'm the happiest person on earth. So yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So many visions coming to your mind. Okay. Anybody else? Raise hands. The last one. Last one. Raise hands. Okay, Surya. Huh? What? Natrangsha. Akanksha.
Akansha, hi. Am I audible?
Yes.
The one which came to my mind was the last year I was in Himachal. There's a place called Jispa, which is covered with snow mountains. And there I was meditating in front of a mountain and a river. And I was listening to this Krishnadas Saraswati, which gave me goosebumps. And I was smiling and I was full of joy that time.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful,
Yeah.
amazing. Thank you, thank you. Okay. One time I was conducting a similar course in a very beautiful place, and there I asked the same question. And there's one gentleman who said something which is so beautiful, What he said was that the most memorable day of my joy, the joyous memorable day, was when he was touching the hand of 1 day old daughter. 1 day old daughter. Okay, let me say it again. He said that the most beautiful day, most beautiful, most memorable and joyous day was the day he touched the hand of his 1 day old daughter. Okay, who is this daughter? Each one of us, let's not forget it, right? We talk about somebody else, we forget our parents, right? And this person, this father, this mother takes pride in you, saying that for me, this is the most beautiful day. And then we look for something else. And who's that? It's you. You are the one. How many of you had that experience of day one you're on this earth, somebody picked you up? Raise hands. How many of you had that experience? Right? Who picked you up? Buddha picked you up, or your mother picked you up? The mother picked you up. Let's not forget the mother. We can forget all others like Buddha and so forth, but don't forget your mother. Don't forget your dad. This is the irony. We get food from the mothers and we think of somebody else outside, right? First, let's not forget our mothers. This is a real experience. And with this, then you can expand to others, Buddha, Jesus Christ, Mahavir, the Ram, Krishna, Prophet Muhammad, Guru Nanak. We can expand. First, the real guru is the real guru, real God, real Buddha is your mother, is your dad. Let's not forget it. This person is the one on this earth who takes pride in your existence. Nobody on this earth. In fact, when I was born, day when I was born, I'm sure my mother did not see the Buddha or the Buddhas coming, Jesus Christ coming down to pick me up, give me ablution. Nobody. Only my mother gave the ablution to me. Mother washed me, right? My dad washed me. Let's not forget this. Let's not forget this. So if we are not grounded, we will never find the real happiness. Only if you are grounded, first you appreciate the mother's love. First you appreciate your dad's love. First you learn how to appreciate that. Only then you can appreciate the Buddha's love. You can appreciate Jesus Christ's love. You can appreciate Prophet Muhammad's love and Krishna's love, or say Bahula's love, or Guru Nanak's love, Mahavir's love. Without this, we cannot really truly experience. For example, I've been meditating on the love and affection of the Buddha for all these many years. When did it become alive? Was only when I was able to manifest my mother's love, my dad's love, their sacrifice. When I'm able to see that, only then I could imagine this, extrapolate this to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, not otherwise. Otherwise, it's all just surface, the theory, just a theory. And you forgot. So where's the basis? Ground is missing. You have this body. You have this body all these many years, all these sins like day when you're born, till you are age 10, 12, 15, 16. You're being fed by somebody. Who was that? Your parents. And we don't remember that. And for them, you are like the treasure of the world. You're the treasure. And for you, they are the garbage. You don't even remember them. You don't even count them as somebody who, whose touch is so beautiful. That we should not forget. If you really want to seek the secret of your happiness, begin from the love that you received from your mother, from your dad. Let's not forget it. And with the exception of some, those who had very difficult childhood, the parents, both the parents, they're fighting, and the mother also not taking care of it. This is so rare. It's about like 1.1%, 0.1%. And even that mother deserves compassion, because she herself must have been through very difficult childhood during her childhood days. So they deserve your compassion. Otherwise, for most of us, this is what we need to keep in mind. Okay. So with this mind, the question is, say that the point, the secret of happiness that we are seeking, infinite happiness and fearlessness. A particular topic that we're doing today is how to create this infinite happiness, short term, long term. Short term is how to mitigate the power of the intensity or the power of stealing our happiness, and how to eventually look for the ultimate solution for your infinite happiness. So these are the two things that we're going to discuss in this class. And with this in mind, say what steals our happiness, the seed of the infinite happiness is within each one of us. This is not a theory. This is not a dogma. This is reality. Whether you accept in religion or not, this is reality. And this is what the UNO is trying to unfold, trying to say that everybody's equal, everybody has the right not to be poor, not to stay hungry. Everybody has the right for the well-being, if possible, the infinite well-being. Yes, what the UN said is very true. This is the ground reality, and we forget the ground reality. So how to reconnect ourselves to the ground reality? This is so important. With this, okay, now me very strongly telling you about the mother's love. How many of you, just imagine you are age 4, 5. How many of you see the prospect, you are very smart, age 4 or 5, you're already very smart. Smart meaning that when your mother is going to, she has to leave for some work, that you're going to be left without a mother, right? And then you see the prospect that your mother will go for work for about a few hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, or she's going to, if she's a housewife, then she'll be away for some shopping purpose and so forth for about 1 hour. You see the prospect of this happening, and then you cannot refrain, you cannot restrain your tears. You just scream. How many had that experience? Raise hands. When you are not when you are age 16, 17, 18. When you are age 4, 5, 6. 16, 17 is complicated age. When you age 4, 5, 6. Raise hands. How many of you had that experience? Don't forget this. Don't forget this. Don't forget this. At this age, you have no Buddha. You have no Jesus Christ. You have no the Ram. You have no Prophet Muhammad. You have only this mother, in the absence of which you just cannot contain your the, the tears. One time, We have to connect ourselves to reality. Then we can go blend this reality with the cognitive, the cognitive enriching. One time, my sister's 2 children, they were very young. They were very young. And the boy was age, I think about like 8, and the girl was about like 10. And 2 of them during the winter holiday, my sister said, okay, I will send these two children to spend a 1 week holiday with you. And so okay. And my sister came bringing the 2 with her, and came to my now, and with all the bags, the clothing, all these things there. And I was sitting on one side, and my sister and the 2 children sitting on the other side, and we were talking. And it was very normal. And after a while, then the sister was to leave. And what happened? Okay, guess what happened? What happened to you actually happened at that moment. Then the sister was on the verge to say bye. Now she's on the verge to leave. Suddenly, this girl simply started screaming, could not contain the pain, simply started to cry. Started to scream so loud. I just felt so much of pain inside me. I could see the pain of this girl. All along, while we were just chatting, this girl was trying to control the pain inside. Control her pain. And most likely she was not hearing the conversation. She was just controlling. Suddenly it became out of control. She could not control it anymore. It just came out. She screamed and cried and cried, seeing the prospect of their mother leaving now. Okay, who is this girl? Each one of us, the boys, girls, each one of us. This is what happened to you. 99% of the people gone through this. Let's not forget it. Let's not forget it. But this is so beautiful. Just imagine that this feeling of love that you felt towards your mother, if it is at the moment, it is from the surface, from the top, it is going deeper, it is going down as you become more and more independent. It goes more, and then by the time you reach age 16, 17, then it goes down that, your mother is very complicated to you. Your father is very complicated to you because you become complicated. Age 16, 17, 18, you become very complicated. So you see your father, mother very complicated because you put on the glass of complication and you see everything is complicated, particularly your parents who love you the most. Okay, just imagine if this love that you feel at that point in time when you were just such a vulnerable age, if you can imagine, if you can extend the same thing to all others, you will be the most happy person on this earth. That's guaranteed. That's guaranteed. With this mind, the question again is, what are the two mental defilements which stop us from experiencing fearlessness, infinite happiness? So from what we learned today, we learned that, say, the infinite happiness is when you can imagine you are very young, you felt the most beautiful day when you are in the laps of, as Janavi said, that you are in the laps of the mother, that you were age 6 or 7, you just reach home, and then you are in the mother's lap. This is so beautiful. This is the most memorable day. Yes, we all had that going through this experience. And I personally remember when I was 5 years old, when I lost my mother, the 5 years old, there, I still remember, I could remember what is that? My memory The memory can be two kinds. One is like the snippet, and the other, like a video, you know. So in my case, it's like the snippet of the photograph memory. There's very brief moments. I remember my mom, that I would say the most memorable moment in my life. My mom, very simple, in a village, very remote village, nothing sophisticated, and for her, just to take care of the children, my sister, my brother, and myself, and I was the youngest one. And then because I was the youngest, I had the privilege to be in the middle of the mother's lap. I was in the middle, so that was my honor, you know. And then she would sing a song, a very simple village song. And later on, when we lost our mother when I was 5, then around age 9, when I was in school, age 9 and all in a boarding school, and then this young boy, the memory of the mother gradually faded away. And then the age 9, the school teacher, particularly the class teacher, the teaching us, not the class teacher, Tibetan language teacher, for the Tibetan song competition. He was to teach a Tibetan song to our class, and he sang this song. Which song? The song which my mother used to sing for us when she was holding the 3 children in her lap. And this poor boy, he was just 5 years old, 3 years old, 4 years old. And the moment I heard this song, after the last like 6-7 years, I could not control my tears. It's a very simple folk song, village song. But to this boy, this is the most beautiful song in the world, where it can stir the boy's emotions, take the boy back to meeting with the mother, in the mother's lap. So beautiful moment. So what I'm saying is that this is the feeling of joy that you felt. Okay, so this is all out of the love towards your mother, and the mother love towards you. So in other words, just imagine if this is what it can expand to other people. Everything is beautiful for you. But do we feel this love towards all beings? We don't feel this love. That is the lack of love. That is a mental defilement which stops us from experiencing infinite happiness. How to fix it? This next question. How to fix it? Okay. How to fix it? This question. How many agree with me that, okay, what you said, if we can expand what Albert Einstein said, if we can expand the circle of compassion towards others, then this prison will be gone rid of, and you will have the maximum happiness. And what I'm saying here is that what blocks us, the mental defilement which attracts the unhappiness, is the lack of love for others. Okay, and if you're able to expand this circle of love, what you felt towards your mom when you were at such a vulnerable age, and the mother's unconditional love towards you, and your love towards the mother, if this is something that you can expand to all other beings, no doubt the person can experience the infinite happiness. And how many of you would agree with this, whether fully or partly? How many agree with this? Raise hands. If it can be done. If it can be done. Very good. Now, is it doable? This question. Is it doable? This question. So, Jimin. Unmute. Yes.
Okay. Yes. Nice to see you, Geshe-la Tashidele.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely, we can do it.
Yes, Dinshanjula. In fact, the answer that I'm expecting from Dinshanjula is absolutely yes. His will not just yes, absolutely yes. I know that because he himself is very compassionate person. I know him since many years ago. Yeah, he's very compassionate person. And this is doable. Okay. What will be the next question? I fully agree with Tenzin Chanchubla. Yes, it is doable. Absolutely. Not just yes. Absolutely yes. Okay. What will be the next question? Anybody? Anyone? Very quick. Okay. Shubhra?
How?
Oh, yes. How? This is a question. Okay. How many agree with me? How many agree with Shubhra? Raise hands. How? How is doable? Okay. If you are really serious with this question, the way Subra is serious, right? Tenzin Shanjula and myself, we should be giving the answer. If you are very serious with this question, we have to listen to this answer. Okay. This feeling of love and affection that we are talking about, it is of two kinds. If you look at this world, in this world, if you look at, right? If I ask you the question, in this world that you have witnessed in your life, in this world, don't talk about, oh, the Buddha love, all the sentient beings. This is all, so for you and me, this is all theoretical. We have not seen that, to be very honest, right? All this great teacher, that great teacher, for example, like His Holiness the Dalai Lama, giving love and affection. This is something visible, but not too often to us because we don't get access, easy access. From Mother Teresa, again, same thing. What she did is just amazing, to be very honest, right? To be very honest, that's amazing. Such a young girl at the age of 17, left her country, came to India, then just at such by herself. This girl became a nun and then started this charity so selflessly. That's amazing. But how many of you have really been with her for about like 10 years, 20 years? No one. No one. From us here, no one. Be very realistic. Tell me, in your life, just tell me, say the instant of a love which is most beautiful and most powerful. A genuine love, which is most powerful, and the most enduring and most powerful. Okay, just give me one example, which is so visibly available that you can see, that you can witness. Raise hands, raise hands, raise hands, raise hands. Okay, Elaine ji.
Geshe-la, a mother's love.
Yes, this is one example. The mother's love. Beautiful. Mother's love. Okay, how many agree with Elaine? Raise hands. Very stable, durable, and very powerful. Yes, very good. Anything else? Any other example? Any other example different from the mother's love, which is so easily visible? Okay, Rimbiji.
Father's love. I mean parents' love.
Parents' love, the father's love. Very good. Anybody else? Okay, now I will ask you, did you ever feel the same love, intense love, when you were age 4, 5, 6 towards somebody? Did you feel that? Did you feel that? Yes, raise your hands. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 around that time? Yes, you also felt it. Which means it's not only the mother's love towards you, your love towards the mother also. And if you did not experience that, somebody else's love towards the mother. Both ways. You're getting it? These two are the two, on the ground you can see that. Very powerful, yet oftentimes we simply take for granted. Let's not forget it. Of the two, let's say, of the two, do you agree with me that the mother's love is one, biological? Number 2, my child, right? This is how the mother's love is developed towards the child. In most cases. How many agree with me? Raise hands. Very good. Now, the love from the child towards the mother, child towards the father, this love. Day one, you are born. Day one, you are born. How many you kiss your mother? How many you embrace your mother? Day one, you're born. I bet no one. Day one, you're born. There's no difference between your mother and the nurse. There's no difference. And some people may argue with me, no, scientifically, there's a proven that since a child in the mother's womb, they're connected with the, no, this is a very subtle form. I'm talking about the very manifest form. If you don't need this research, go to the hospital. Go to the hospital and go to this, what is that? The child's, what is that? Okay, what is that technical term? There's a technical term for the children's section. Okay, it's fine. I don't remember it. You go to this section, and then you see hundreds of babies there. Of these hundreds of babies there, how many you see witness that one baby telling the mother, "Oh, you're my mom. You have been so kind. When I'm in your womb, you're so kind." Day one, how many you did? Nobody, right? That's for sure. That's obvious. You don't need research. Some research says that this is a very subtle point, very grossly available thing. This is another irony. On a planet Earth, we have so much water, right? We don't take care of this water. And you go to Mars and see, oh, there's a trace of water there. Whether or not, there's some trace of water. What is this? You have the water already there, ocean and ocean water on planet Earth. We don't take care. We just dump all the garbage there. And then where there's no water, you say, oh, there's a possible, you spend trillions of dollars. Oh, there's a trace of water there. But there's the ravine there. There must be some water at one time. What is this? It's totally it's a contradictory. So likewise, we have so much of love that we receive from the mother, that you gave to the mother. This is the reality. And this love towards the mother is developed not on day one. How many agree with me? On day one, this intentional love is not developed. It took us 2-3 years. 2-3 years. Okay, let's say 4th year, the love is so intense. Okay, my question to you. So in a way, what we are saying is that whether or not such a love, unconditional love, is something which we can cultivate towards all the beings. This is the basic question. So for this, I said that can you see such a love, may not be universal, but to somebody very intense? And we said yes, two. Parents' love towards the child and the child's love towards the parents. How many agree with me, raise hands thus far? Once you agree with me, the question is, how does the mother come to have this love towards the child? One, we say that, okay, this is my child. Other is biological, which means that we cannot have the biological factor to love all the beings, right? And we cannot say that, okay, you are my human being, you are my human being. You cannot say like this. So we can't really emulate the mother's love towards the child. But the child's love towards the mother, that's interesting. This child did not have this love towards the mother. Day one, the child was born, but gradually developed. How did it develop? As of now, we don't have this love towards all beings. We can also develop. So just let's emulate how the child did it. Okay, anybody? How did this child, as you as a child, day one when you were born, you did not have any love towards the mother. Over time, within the span of 4 years' time, your love towards the mother becomes so intense. How did this love get intensified over the period of 3-4 years' time? How? Anybody? Raise hands. Very quick. Okay. Marshmashtad. Tidore. Ria.
So we understood that
we are dependent on our mother. We were selfish to slowly understand that we cannot survive without a mother nourishing us. So it was initially selfish. So yes, that is how we developed our love in the first stages of our life.
Very good. Thank you. Anu? Yes, Anu?
Yes. Yeah, Keshara, maybe because whenever I need anything or whenever I'm trouble, so my mother was always there. Like no matter what, like she's always there to support me or to protect me in any situation. So I can rely on, like, if there is nobody around me, but my mother is always there to help me or support me or protect me in any situation. So that's how.
Okay. How many agree with Ria and Anu? Raise hands. Very good. Okay. Now the point is that how this child developed this intense love towards the parents, towards the mother, particularly the mother, was because that whenever the child is in need of a problem, if you don't think of the child outside the child, you as a child, whenever you are in danger, whenever you are in need of something, somebody comes. What is that? Most often the mother and sometimes the father also. They come. They're there to give you that. Which means that, and then you feel close. Okay, I want this. From where will I get this? And your mind will go towards the source of this benefit. Your mind will go towards the source of this benefit. Your mind going closer towards the source of benefit is known as feeling close. How many agree with me? Raise hands. Yes, I feel close to my mom, which means that I see this with respect to the child. I see I see my mind going closer towards the source of where can I get this benefit? Then you see that this is the mother from whom you get it. And then it builds a habit. It builds a habit. With a habit, it becomes very easy. Then at times it becomes very intense and spontaneous. This is known as the spontaneous love or the intense love. Okay, so from this what we learn is that the mother, how this child develops this love towards the mother over the span of 4 years, 3 years, 4 years, is by seeing the mother as a source of benefit. And seeing that she as the greatest source of benefit, the mind goes closest to her. How many agree with me? Raise hands. Good. Now the next point is is there a possibility by which my mind can feel close to everyone, seeing everybody as a source of benefit? Okay, this is a good point. If I can see everybody as a source of benefit, my mind will invariably flow towards all the beings. Theoretically, how many agree with me? Raise hands. Okay, what would be your question? If this, I would say that this not only the theory, this is reality. What would be your question? Anybody, raise hands. Or what I said is that you can see everybody as a source of benefit, and then your mind will automatically float with all the beings. So this is what I said. Or what question would you ask me? Raise hands. Raise hands. Okay, no one. Okay. Paradiji.
How?
What how? There's so many hows. Precise, be very precise.
How can we get this particular feeling towards other human beings?
No. Which feeling? Feeling of anger?
No, feeling of benefit.
No. A feeling of?
Benefit.
Okay, so you should make it very precise. I'm not that smart person. I'm very dull. You should be very precise with me, right? Okay, so what the Balaji is saying is that, how can we see the beings, all the beings as a source of benefit? When that happens, automatically your mind will flow towards the beings. Okay, so here comes two things. That your mind, seeing the beings as a source of benefit, that is a cognitive event of your mind. Cognitive event of mind. With this cognitive event, then the mind will automatically flow towards the beings. This is the affective element of the mind. So it works between these two things. One is a cognitive, the very rich and very sharp and extremely wise, the cultivation of the cognitive, the element of your mind. And then from there, then the flow of the mind feeling close towards all the beings invariably happens. That is the affective part of the mind. Okay, so how to cultivate these two? Next session. We'll stop here. Let's go on.
Thank you
Okay.
very much, Geshe-la.
Yes.
Geshe-la, 1 hour?
Yes, in 1 hour, we will do the 1 hour and 1 minute. Okay, we will recite the Heart Sutra mantra 3 times. Let us pray that this Heart Sutra mantra, just let us remember, okay, now I'm getting some sense here, where finally I have to learn cognitively, I have to enrich myself cognitively to see the benefit that I'm getting from all the beings. Then effectively, how my mind flows towards the beings. And as a result, how I become a happier person. And because of my being a happier person, how I can exude this happiness toward my family members, towards the mother, who is the greatest inspiration of my joy, towards my dad, towards all my siblings, towards them all the beings. Yata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasam Gati Bodhiswatyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasam Gati Bodhiswatyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasam Gati Bodhiswaha. Okay, thank you.
Thank
See you
you,
again in
Geshe-la.
1 hour.
Thank you.
Thank you, Geshe-la.
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 Thank you.